since we have received this new asset lab as part of the Drug Wars DLC that is actually very profitable, and figured I will make a tier list based on the money making methods. So let's start off with the basic one. That's the apartment. The apartment basically allows you to conduct your very own original heists, like your Fleeka job, Pacific Standard, Series A funding. All those are 5 different types of heists, and it does require 4 players, except with Visa it only requires 2 players. Now, back in 2015 when it was released, it was a very good way to make money, but it's 2022 now, and despite the increase in pay that it received as part of the Criminal Enterprise DLC, it's still not a really good moneymaker, right? You can definitely have a bunch of friends, a group of 4. You can definitely have a ton of fun. You can, do the criminal mastermind challenge together, or you can just, do the all in order challenge together and have some fun. But as far as money making goes, it's still, at the bottom of the barrel. So I have to place it in D tier. Now, moving on to the arcade. The arcade that was released back in 2019, almost 3 years ago, introduced the Diamond Casino Heist, which to this day is one of the best money-making activities in the game, even though it's not solo friendly as per the finale, because you can still do the prep missions for the heist solo, but some of the prep missions do require you to do up to 2 deliveries, and in some cases up to 4 deliveries if you have like certain getaway vehicles. The preps can be done solo, however there is a requirement in the finale for another player to be with you. That's where things get interesting, and unfortunately it's still not a solo heist, but it is one of the best money making methods in the game, because you can complete all the prep missions in like half an hour. Like, I have a video on my channel, you can see that I have completed all the mandatory preps of the heist in 25 minutes. So you can also do the preps in like 30 minutes, maybe 35 minutes, and then you can conduct the heist in like 15 to 20 minutes, based on how long it takes with your partner, or in case you have to restart the heist or something else. So in a nutshell, you can say that you can complete the entire casino heist with solo preps and as non-solo finale in just an hour, maybe less than that if you're trying to complete it as fast as possible, right? And the payout is still pretty good, right? A couple can do this with, again, solo preps, non-solo finale, and you can get 2 million in just an hour, and you can give your mate like 20% cut or 25% cut. You can still make a good amount of money, easily over 1 for 5 million. So I'm gonna have to put it in A tier, mostly because of the non-solo finale. Like, maybe in the future they allow us to do the heist completely solo. The main stopgap that you have for the heist as a solo player is when you have to swipe the cards together to enter and exit the vault. So yeah, that's basically where, and the only reason I'm putting it there is because of the non-solo finale, because there is still a requirement during the finale where you have to swipe the cards at the same time when entering or exiting the vault. But other than that, you can practically do the whole thing completely solo. So maybe in the future they do change it, because recently they allowed players to do the casino story missions completely solo. Again, that was still a lot easier to implement as compared to this, but we have seen in the Kyrico heist finale where a single player would be able to open the doors that did require keycard swipes, and they allowed us to do that by allowing one player to swipe the cards. I mean, like, it would still be locked behind having 2 persons to do it, but you were able to do that as a single player, even though it was a non-solo finale. So yeah, again, something they can implement here, and that would be really cool. Now, moving on to the arena workshop. Yeah, I don't even have to contemplate too much about this. It's essentially a money pit. The arena workshop, it was released, the Arena Wars DLC, I think after our DLCs, basically when we got the nightclub. And yeah, it's so bad. I don't even have to explain why. the the jobs require two plus players, and it's essentially a job, right? Or you can just say it was just an adversary mode vehicles. They're definitely fun with friends, right? I play, with my crewmates, and it's pretty good, right? It's pretty interesting. The only issue is that it's kind of hot garbage when it comes to payouts. So yeah, again, this is a money making deal list. So yeah, now the bunker. Okay, the bunker was released as part of the gun running DLC, and it was pretty good at the time, right? Upon its release, and again, still to this day, it is a really good money making method. But one of the not one of the best, but yeah, it's a very good money making method even for a solo player, because what you can do is essentially buy one batch of supplies, come back a couple hours later, and then sell it. The only issue is that you have to keep doing this, and the number of round trips that you have to make is a lot. You can basically, like if you have like a couple of friends, or if you don't mind resetting your sale a few times, what you can do is essentially, completely follow the product, and you can sell it for 1,050,000. You can do that, right? I have a guide showing how you can make a little over 1 million from each of the bunker sales, and you don't even have to be in a public session, right? You can just start doing that in a completely private session. That's one of the good things about the criminal enterprise DLC, that you can now sell your businesses in a private session. So yeah, it's a very good money making method. Maybe I can put it alongside the arcade, because again, it is non-solo, and but the payout is great. So next up is going to be cash. Now I can just put up a profit per hour chart right now in front of you, and you will see that the cash is not really a good money maker, and the business cell missions are very similar to the bunker, right? You basically you buy supplies, you make a product, and then you sell it, right? Depending on the amount of product you produce, you are going to get multiple vehicles. However, even despite the increase in payouts as part of the March update, and cash did receive, among all other biker businesses, that it's going to get a 25% in increase the payouts, which was pretty good. However, the payout increase wasn't that great. It's still not great, right? You need to change the missions, Rockstar. You need to modify the missions accordingly, so that solo players and non-solo players can still do the cell missions. And again, no one likes to drive slow ass vans or trucks, right? We want fast vehicles, right? Again, Asset Lab, that was introduced as part of the Drug Wars DLC, did everything right. Solo, the vehicle is a fast off-road bike. It's no joke. It's not a slow ass truck. It's a off-road bike that is really, really fast. And you can even pause the production. And there are other cool things about it. I don't even have to go too much into detail right now. That can come later. But yeah, you need to modify all the biker businesses accordingly, and maybe bunker as well. So yeah, cash is just gonna come in the C tier. Yeah, again, it's not even worth the B tier. Coke is, yeah, it's slightly better in terms of profit per hour when it comes to bunker, and it's very similar to the bunker in terms of how the product is produced and everything, and the payout is still pretty good. Again, if you have friends, then definitely is a great way to make money. But if you're a solo player, try to stay away from it. You can still sell it, sell Coke as a solo player. It's just there are a lot of caveats that go into it. So next up is gonna be crates. And in this business, essentially what you do is you buy a warehouse that usually costs somewhere between 250,000 for a small warehouse, that's the cheapest one, or a 3.5 million large warehouse. And if you're going for the money, then the large warehouse is the way to go, because the more crates you store, the more stock you build, the more valuable each crate is going to be. Yeah, it's kind of weird logic, but that's how it is, right? The more you accumulate, the more valuable it's gonna be. However, there are raids, and the raids are rare, but they are quite unforgiving, right? Because you collect raids, and after hitting like 70% of the storage capacity, there's a small chance that your warehouse can get raided, and you paid for the crates, store them into the warehouse by doing missions, right? Each mission can take up to, like, I don't know, 10 minutes at times, right? I have shown in one of my videos that how you can collect 20 crates in just 20 minutes of active gameplay, right? That's how fast you can do. However, most players are not going to be able to do that. Maybe it's going to take them 25 minutes, half an hour, maybe a lot more, right? It depends from player to player. But again, I have shown in one of my videos how you can collect 20 crates in just 20 minutes of active gameplay. And based on how the Grim Enterprise DLC improved is by allowing players to actually pay NPCs to source the crates for you, right? So basically, there is a new NPC in your warehouse. You can go up to that NPC and pay for them to source crates, and sometimes they can source 2, maybe 3 crates, but most of the time they are only going to source 1 crate. There's also a slight chance, very small chance, that it will source 3 crates and one special item, right? Which might make it seem enticing, but again, the chances are very low. So yeah, again, the final payout is like, for example, it's gonna take you a little over 3 hours. Again, even for someone like me, I'm a speedrunner, it's gonna take someone like me a little over 3 hours to fill up one cargo warehouse completely. Right? One large warehouse, it's gonna take me a little over 3 hours. For some people, it's gonna take them 5 hours, 6 hours. I don't know how long, right? But again, it's gonna take them that long, and the payout is a little over 2.2 million. So what I usually suggest is players to hold their great warehouses till the double money event. The double money event is going to allow you to make 4.4 million, and your profits just triple, right? Your profits triple because at the end of the day, you're still paying for the crates. So it's always better to hold them till the double money event. What you can do is basically fill up the warehouse till 70% of the capacity, and then wait for the event. Once the event comes, you fill the warehouse with the remaining crates and you sell it. So I'm gonna put it in B tier list because half of the source missions are not soul friendly at all, but half of them are. So yeah, and the sell mission you can still do solo. Yeah, I don't even have to do it. I wish there was an F tier. I would like to put docs there. But yeah, that's essentially how bad it is. And might as well put the green stuff there, because again, yeah, the document business and the green business, yeah, they have slightly different payouts, but essentially on the tier basis, they are at the bottom of the barrel, honestly. Now, facility is definitely an interesting choice. Because with the recent Criminal Enterprise DLC, it received a buff on the payouts for the missions, right? For example, Act 1, 2, and 3 received a payout boost of like 50%. Now, that might not seem a lot, but the Act 3 pays out 1.5 million, regardless of the number of players. And you multiply that by 1.5, you are gonna get 2.25 million. And then each of the setup missions, you also got a boost of 50%. That might not seem a lot, but at the end of the day, you will be making 68,000 roughly for each of the setup missions. The only issue is that the host of the heist does not get paid during the setup missions. So the non-host or just the helpers get the payout of like 68,000 for each of the missions, each of the setup missions, which is great, honestly. Again, but the main issue lies with the heist itself. The finale is really brutal for your average, and there is no easy mode. Yeah, there is no easy mode in this heist, right? Even in the apartment heist, there was an easy mode. In facility heists, or you can just say the Doomsday heist, there's no easy mode. So yeah, the money making is not that great because for an average player it's going to take like a couple hours, maybe 3 hours to do the Act 3, and you can do that in just 1 hour with an arcade, and you don't even have to do the setup missions with another person. You can just do the solo preps and still complete the entire heist in just 1 hour. So yeah, the facility is, sorry, it's gonna go into the C tier, mostly because of how hard the missions are and how the payout goes. It's definitely a fun heist, but not a good money-making one if you try to grind it out. Say Hangar. Now this is a good one. The Hangar, as part of the Drug Wars DLC, got a triple payout boost. Yes, a triple payout boost, which might make it seem enticing, but even before the update, it was hot garbage. And right now, it's like, it's not It's not bad, but it's not great per se. You are gonna make like 2.5 million. Maybe with a lobby bonus you can make a lot more, but again, it's not that great per se because there are 50 missions that you have to complete completely solo. If you have a friend, you can do 25 missions or a lot less. Yes, unfortunately, Hanger has to go into the C tier, even despite the improvements. You're still gonna spend quite a bit of time doing the missions. Right, the missions are gonna last about like what 3 to 10 minutes. Again, some missions you can complete in 3 minutes. Some missions require you to, no matter what, no matter how fast you are. Some of the supply missions can be pretty challenging. They can be fun, and maybe if you have a friend, it can definitely improve your experience for doing the hanger business. It's not really a good money maker, honestly. Now, Kosatka, yeah, I don't have to explain. It essentially broke every other money making method. The only reason I say that it's broken is because it essentially made every active business useless. The arcade, the crates, the doomsday heist, hanger business, like those were still part of the pair. But yeah, it essentially made arcade, crates, and the vehicle cargo completely useless because you could do everything solo and still make over 1.5 million in 1 hour. And over the months, we start to see people doing speed runs. I did a speed run myself where I completed the entire heist in just half an hour, right? And I have multiple guides on my channel showing how you, an average player, can complete the heist in like 35 to 40 minutes, right, with a lead challenge. Again, even despite the nerfs that it got, right, the changes it got, they changed this, they changed that. Again, I don't have to go into details, but still, it is one of the best, if not the best, money making activity in the game. Okay, so the lab. Yeah, I'm gonna put it here. The blue stuff, let's call it. The blue stuff essentially is same as Coke. The profit per hour is slightly lower. Nightclub. Oh, yeah, this is gonna go into an S tier, especially because of the Criminal Enterprise DLC. There were some really good changes that made it even better than what it was before. The biker crates within your nightclub warehouse got a boost of 35% in sale value, not 25%, 35% in sale value. And your the popularity income generation got even better because instead of getting 10,000 every 48 minutes or every in-game day, now you are getting 50,000 for every in-game day. So you can essentially pay the DJs, and you can swap out DJs by paying them 10,000. You get like 10% of popularity boost, and that's it. You can keep doing this every 2 in-game days, and you can still make a profit just by swapping out the DJs. Where you will be earning, easily more than what you can earn from most of the biker businesses. Swap out the DJs and get it done. Or what you can do, popularity missions, or what you can do is enter the nightclub, and once you enter the nightclub, there is a random chance that you can get prompted for a mission from Marcel, and essentially either it's going to be a 10-second mission where you throw out a troublemaker from the nightclub, or you can have to drive a VIP to the hospital. If it's too far, what you can do is just destroy the vehicle, and that's it. Not a huge deal. Again, that's still up to chance, but technically it's still another way, and you get 10,000 for it. You don't have to pay the DJ, and you get like 25% popularity boost. Again, great way to make money. And as I already mentioned, that the warehouse got a boost, so essentially every 20 hours you can make a sale for 1 million, which might seem a lot, but again, once you have the businesses connected, all these businesses, again, you still need to own these businesses in order to actually function your nightclub with the warehouse. But again, even without the warehouse, you can still make money just from popularity, right? So you can actually start with your nightclub in GT Online and still make decent money, because again, just from popularity income, you can make more money than any of the biker businesses. I know it might sound harsh, but that's the reality. Now, vehicle cargo. Now, with the recent update in the Drug Wars DLC, players can now get high demand bonus when selling in a public lobby, which is great. It's pretty good. Uh, but the payout is still kind of meh, honestly. So I will have to put it in this category. We have the agency that was released as part of the contract DLC. It was such a good DLC, with the music, the cutscenes, and everything. The storytelling, great. And you can essentially redo the Dr. Dre's heist in just 70 to 80 minutes. I know it might sound a lot, but you can essentially break it up. You can stop at any point you want. For example, there are 11 missions, and you can stop at like 5 missions and then complete the sixth later. And you can what you get and what you are gonna get at the end of the day is 1 million. Now, 1 million might not seem a lot, but when you look at it from the perspective of a solo player, where you have to, cycle between something like the Cayo Perico heist and the nightclub, right? There's not a lot of activities that you can do that make a lot of money, right? I mean, obviously, you can do the solo preps for the arcade, but again, it's a non-solo finale. You can do trades, but again, half of the source missions are not solo friendly. Looking at, you start to see that you have to go into the B tier, C tier, and the D tier categories of moneymakers in order to get something out of your cooldown time for your Cayo Perico heist. Obviously, you don't have to wait for 2.5 hours. You can just log off, come back after 2.5 hours. You have your security contracts, you have your payphone hits. And the nice thing about security contracts is that the more you do, there is a passive income generator in your agency that goes up the more agency contracts you do. It caps out at 200 contracts, but again, most players are not going to be grinding out to 200 contracts. But the option is there that basically you can do 200 contracts and you can earn 20,000 every in-game day. That's how nice it is, right? The more contracts you do, the more that passive income generates. Again, the security contracts themselves pay decent, but the passive income generation is pretty good. Definitely deserves a spot on the A tier list. Now, the final one is going to be the Asset Lab. That was introduced as part of the Drug Wars DLC, and it is so good. A lot of people were, saying that, oh, it's not that great of a moneymaker. Oh, you couldn't be more wrong. I'm just gonna give you a rundown. It's an S tier business. It goes alongside the nightclub as well. Yes, that's how good it is, right? And I consider it to be slightly better than the nightclub as well. I'm gonna tell you why. So, first of all, it's the best beginner business in the game. There's no competition. As a beginner player, as a level 1 player, what you can do is essentially start their first story, but after completion, you're gonna get something around 600,000. You get 500,000 as your first time bonus and 100,000 from all the missions that you do, right? You get like 10 to 20,000. Again, that's without any bonuses. Then you get 600,000, and then you do some of the DAXs of free mode work missions. You do those definitely because you need to do 10 of those missions to unlock the equipment upgrade. Each of the missions give you 50,000. This week, because of the bonus, you are getting 100,000, but you get 50,000 for each of the DAXs work missions. You need to do 10 of those, that's 500,000. You add the 500,000 to 600,000, that's 1.1 million. To buy the Asset Lab for your Brigade 6x6 that gets unlocked for free anyways, you need to pay 750,000. And then 250,000 roughly for the equipment upgrade. What you have to do is essentially, now you have 1.1 million in your hand, and to install the Asset Lab and buy its equipment upgrade, which definitely you should do because the profit increase sixfold roughly. Yes, so get the upgrade, and in order to install the Asset Lab and get the upgrade, it's going to cost you a little close to 1 million. As a new player, you just earned 1.1 million from those missions themselves. So you essentially paid for having a fully upgraded business just by playing that content. I know the DAX's work missions have a 48-minute cooldown, which is not great. You can complete the mission in 5 to 10 minutes, and the missions themselves are pretty easy, right? This is basically going from point A to point B. In some of the missions, you have to avoid the cops, but again, this is GTA. What are you expecting? And that's about it. That's my tier list for all the money-making methods, the popular money-making methods in GTA Online. And I had fun making it. I hope you had fun watching it. If you have any other, if you have any opinions about this, feel free to comment down below. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.